Hey girl, hey! Welcome to With a Gay Twist. We are typically a bi-weekly podcast hosted by two homosexuals that talk about news and politics and pop culture, but with a gay twist. But this week, we're going to be doing something a little different, a little special.
A little special. Just call me Julie Andrews.
Hi, Julie Andrews.
And you can be Carol Burnett.
Christopher Plummer?
No.
Oh, Carol Burnett.
No.
Okay.
Come on. Two homosexuals? No.
Sorry.
Come on,
I apologize. What we're going to be doing today is something a little bit different. We are going to be talking about the first episode of the brand new season of RuPaul's Drag Race.
Start your engines. Season 14, y'all.
I mean, I feel like there's been 3 seasons every year. They're coming so fast.
At least for the past couple of years. Well, I want to say that, but we both know, and everybody knows, that COVID hit us hard, and we didn't have those typical back-to-back seasons for, I think it was 2019 going into 2020. I think we lost time because they had to figure out what they were doing with the COVID situation as far as getting queens in there, making sure they're following all the protocols. Travel was completely shut down for people too.
They've been working their asses off to get production going for these last 2 seasons, and hats off to them.
Yes, well, they finally had the budget for it, and by finally I mean pretty much after season 4.
Yeah, pretty much when things started getting really good. Things were good before that, but they were really good with season 4.
Well, I mean,
so here's what we're gonna do. Well,
I love season 2.
We're not gonna talk about season 1.
Well, season 1 is the season that didn't exist.
It does not exist.
It disappeared.
So what we're going to do is we're going to go through the episode, and we're going to talk about the queens. We're going to talk about the mini challenge. We're going to talk about the runway and just dive into it. So let's begin with the queens walking into the workroom for the first time. First queen walking in, Miss Alyssa Hunter from Puerto Rico.
Ow.
I loved this outfit. I thought it was beautiful. I thought it was so put together. I really dug it.
It was a look. It was definitely a look. Now, yeah, I enjoy her face. Her painting is phenomenal.
Yes.
And I mean, when she walked in, the first thing that I thought was money.
Money, honey.
I mean, money. The moment she walked in, I knew pageant queen.
Oh, for sure, pageant queen. And then she says
queen.
she's won like every major like pageant on Puerto Rico's
she's
island.
won the 4, as she said it, the 4 most important titles on the island.
Go her. Yeah, I wrote down in my notebook just some notes where I wrote down first impressions. Mm-hmm. And so she walked in, Alyssa, and then the first thing I wrote was beautiful.
Gorgina,
darling. And then later, after she de-dragged, I then wrote trade.
Yes, Alyssa Hunter. So far, now we've only seen 7 of the queens.
True.
Okay. But so far, Alyssa Hunter is trade of the season.
She is trade of the season so far.
Bye, girl, bye to all the others that came before her.
Sorry, girl.
And we've had some good ones, but
we
Alyssa
have
Hunter,
had some good ones.
at least for moi, is right up there.
Who would be the 3 out of all the de-dragged? Who would be the 3, as Miss Alyssa Edwards would say?
Oh, girl. How far back do we want to go? I mean, are we talking about over all the seasons?
Sure. Yeah.
And are we talking about now looking back, or are we talking about what we thought then? Because I can talk about my initial reactions, who the biggest 3 initial first impression reactions were, or I can talk about the 3 that I would say
the 3 you know now.
The 3 that we know now. Okay, so of course we have current Alyssa Hunter.
Sure.
Now this is not in any specific order. Let me throw that out there. I would really have to have pictures side by side to really make a determination. Okay. And then from season 10, Cameron Michaels, out of drag. Give me some nice broad shoulder, tattooed, just melted. And then just a hop, skip, and a jump after that, Miss Sugarcane from season 11.
Now, I will make a confession. I have seen every episode of RuPaul's Drag Race except every episode from season 11. It's the one season I missed. And I don't feel badly about that.
Really good stuff from that season, though.
I don't feel bad. The only thing I feel bad about is missing a Miss Brooklyn Heights.
Miss Brooklyn Heights was amazing. And, I mean, honorable mentions to Brooklyn and honorable mention to Scarlet Envy out of drag.
Oh, that hair.
The hair gets me. That's really what gets me. The hair and just that cut jaw.
That cut.
Which does not help in drag. Coming from someone with a strong jawline who's done drag, does not help you.
No ma'am, Pam. I would say my three are also a Miss Cameron Michaels. I mean, Trade. Mama Trade. I'm then going to say a Miss Lanesha Sparks.
Really?
Yes. Lanesha Sparks. Very handsome.
Okay.
And then I'm going to say Milk. I know Milk is a strange choice, but I think Milk is a very attractive man.
I could get behind Milk if it was.
I could get behind him, on top of him, underneath him, all the things.
As long as there's a ball gag in that man's mouth, then yes, I can be any which way.
True.
But Milk, I think, is just too problematic for me when it comes to the personality side of things, that it muddles the
I'm just looking at a photo.
Attractiveness. I mean, if we're looking just at photos, then yes.
Yeah, just looking at a photo.
He's also a little too small for me. I like a little bit more meat because I don't have any meat.
Gotcha.
So I don't want to be, starting fires with bone on bone action.
I mean,
right?
Don't be whittling that down.
Push too hard and you just break a hip or something.
True that. All right, so after the trade of the season, Miss Alyssa Hunter then walks in Bosco, Seattle Queen. Yes. Now, my first impression when she first walked in was, okay, cool, nice. I'm digging the drag. And then when I saw the interview and I see Bosco out of drag, I thought, oh yeah, that's Seattle.
Oh yes. Oh my gosh.
That's Seattle, 100%.
So this cast, I think, at least, again, the first 7 that we've seen, we haven't seen the others yet, but out of drag is definitely the kookiest. The kookiest bunch of them all.
Kooky, Maluki, Juki, Kaduki.
I mean, I know that we just had the Addams Family Values animated series movie come out this year, but I didn't know that was going to influence.
Delicate.
Yes. That warranted the shade.
Talk about a queen. Miss Joan Cusack in that movie.
Oh my
Such
God.
a queen. But back to these queens.
Yes, back to these queens. Bosco was interesting for me.
Interesting.
Mostly the eyebrows. Like that's a choice.
That's a
It's
choice.
a choice for me. And I was like, okay, I get it. I get with this first aesthetic. I get with walking in, the horns, just the whole garb. And then seeing that this is going to be a thing, I'm wondering if this is going to hit Michelle real quick, like, who was it? Tina Burner's outfit choices of red, yellow, and orange hit Michelle real quick.
Oh God, you're giving me like flashbacks to Tina Burner, and
I loved Tina Burner though.
I like Tina Burner too, and
as a performer,
and I think from what I've heard from other queens, like I'm thinking about when they do the pit stop, the day after.
Yep.
Lots of the queens really dig Tina Burner. There's just, I don't know what it was about her on Drag Race that just was not working. I mean, there were some issues, I think, with taste and this repetitive color palette.
I think that she went into it with a very established and like rigid way of looking at, this is how I'm going to present myself, instead of walking in and going, okay, so here are signature looks. And by signature looks, I don't mean here are all my runways that they give me in the list of what I need to bring, but here are a few signature looks from those however many episodes are in a season. How many episodes? There's like 15, 14, something around there. So out of those runways, I'm going to bring, let's say, 7, half, and they're going to be my signature colors, right? But then you need to show flexibility. You need to show versatility. You need to show that you can do more than that. Because, I mean, look at Jan. Jan, when she came in first, not when she was back on All Stars, when she came in first, she had her signature looks. She had her Jan sport, right? Everything very sporty spice of her, right? Pushing forward. She had her color. Yeah. She's what? Pink? Or is she purple?
Oh, no, she was purple.
She's purple.
Was rosé.
Right. Jan came in with a very set, like, this is who I am, but she also brought in some flexibility with her runways. She wasn't all Jan sport all the time. Tina came in and she was like, no, I'm fucking condiments the entire time. I am mustard and ketchup.
She was giving us the greatest showman realness. This is me.
Ronald McDonald. Clown realness. 24/7.
Well, we'll see what Bosco can do. We'll see if Bosco's got the versatility and the creative ability to sort of change it up and not just give one note. We shall see.
Just change up the eyebrows for me.
Just a little bit. Next, walking in the workroom is Miss Cornbread the Snack Jeté. She's so funny. I was cracking up.
Fucking hilarious.
I love her.
I love her so much. And I get her.
Yeah.
And I get her from performing, like being in the South, performing where I performed, growing up through that drag scene that I grew up through. I get her. I get what she's coming from and what she's putting out, and it's amazing. But girl, like, she's not too serious. She is not Silky, okay?
She's not Silky Nutmeg. She's not the Reverend Dr. Silky Nutmeg Ganache, and which is fine. Which is fine.
Refreshing. Not just fine, but refreshing. I did not enjoy Silky. I don't enjoy Silky as a competitor.
That ganache with the nutmeg, that is a particularly acquired taste.
Acquired in that I'm like 12 drinks in for the night.
Yes. Yeah. Then, walking in is a Miss, not a big pill, but a little pill. Which I love that Ru somehow finds something with your name, and it just becomes your thing. Like when she would do that, Ivy Winters, and now, like, does anyone ever say Ivy Winters' name without doing it that way whenever you're introducing her?
I think we're contractually obligated to say it that way.
I think we are.
I think it's copyrighted.
I think that those are the attorneys.
Yes.
That's from RuPaul. Yeah.
Yep. Well, it really showed, actually, if we're going back real quick, it really showed when Caught in the Act came on the show, because Ru said it right. It wasn't even the first time, but it was like one of the times on the main stage, and Ru said it correctly. Yeah. And Courtney actually said something, because it's supposed to be caught in the act. It's the play on words, and that's kind of where your drag name is supposed to be. It's either the old adage of there's like millions of ways of figuring out what your drag name is. So it depends on what house you're in,
the street you grew up on,
right? Or it's just a name given to you by your house. If you came up through a house and you had like the drag mother, the drag grandmother pose.
Yep.
Does a really good job of showing what houses are and were.
Yep.
Or it's supposed to be
something
a play
catchy
on
and
words.
punny and play on words. Yeah.
Right. Which is Will Pill.
Will Pill.
And then
So
Miss Alyssa Hunter thinking that it was Pillow.
Oh God. Listen, it takes a village.
It takes a village, and girl, she's trying.
She trying.
And English is not her first language.
English is not her first language, and someone,
I love it.
Speaking as someone who is married to someone who was not born in this country and did not learn English until the age of 10, and who tells me all the time, "Stop it! I can't help it. English isn't my first language." I sympathize and empathize.
Hey, I went through like 5 or 6 years of speech therapy in elementary school, so I get it, girl.
Poor thing.
And it's
so
fine.
Willow
Just
walks in.
Keep running your mouth. It's pretty to look at.
It's pretty to look at. The thing that I wrote down next to Willow's name for my first impression, WTF. I was like, first of all, they let a child in here, and I was getting like Blair St. Clair flashbacks.
Very much, yes. Yeah.
The shoes, the outfit. I was just like, what is happening right now?
The first thing that went through my head was Brat Doll.
Brat Doll. Yes.
Brat Doll.
For
Which,
sure.
So the Brat Doll harkens back to the Cole twins. I think I'm saying their name right. It's Coyle. They're known as Sugar and Spice.
Who is she?
Okay, so who they are like Instagram, that new age of drag queens didn't really come up through the clubs as a performer. The traditional route, they're more the Instagram, the YouTube.
Oh, I just looked them up.
And their whole tag is that they are real life brat dolls. And as soon as she walked in, I went, did one of them get on? Wait, who I didn't see that one of the Coles were on this season. But it was like first time out in drag is what it looked like.
Well, and she said later, like, this was her first time in drag in over a year because of COVID. I thought at first she was going to say something like, it's my first time in drag in over a year, and I only did it for 6 months before that.
Shangela. Got it. Love me some Shangela.
Oh, no.
Don't
Love
come
me
for
some
me.
Shangela. And you know what? Shows you what a journey is.
Well, she's a professional.
I mean, professional.
Professional.
So, very interesting. And then later we find out that she has had some medical issues. She's got some medical problems.
Kidney failure, dialysis, transplant.
I mean, girl has been through it. So, I feel bad for judging her. But I'm hoping that things get better for her.
I don't feel bad for judging that aesthetic. That aesthetic was...
That's true. Those shoes, I'm going to have nightmares tonight. I'm going to wake up in a cold sweat thinking about those shoes.
But what we learn about her later on, after she does her talent for the main challenge, for the maxi challenge, I think, as she said, that number one, her entrance look was made to throw them off. I think everything about that look was a choice. I don't think anything about that look was a mistake. I think she went in there looking a hot mess on purpose. I think she's very calculated, and I think she's one of those... I think she's going to be a Jinx Monsoon. Not saying that I think that she's going to win, but I think that she's going to be one of those silent but deadly calculating queens that's kind of in the background, and you don't notice until they're on screen. Like, until they're in that challenge.
Well, then I welcome it.
I can't wait.
All right. After that comes Miss Kerry Colby, who I instantly started calling Carrington Colby. And then later Rue brought up Carrington Colby. I was like, oh, okay, I'm glad Rue and I are on the same page. So my first thing that I wrote down when I saw her was literally fucking beautiful.
I think she's the one. Was she the one that I said nose contour the house down? Maybe not.
She's
But
fucking
she's
beautiful.
Yes. And I don't know how much you pay attention to social media when it comes to RuPaul, but there has been a clap back. Okay.
Spill the tea, Hunty.
Get ready. It's going to be piping hot. Miss Gia Gunn has taken to her social media and has said today, January 8th, Gia posts at 12:42 on Facebook. So happy to see a trans person on an actual season of Drag Race. The doors that I've opened. Excuse me, bitch. And sorry, this was actually on Twitter. This wasn't on Facebook. It was posted on Facebook. That's where I found it. So Got Mick. First comment that you see on her Twitter post, Got Mick says, "I love my fake season."
Good job, Got Mick.
I love Got Mick. Number one. Number two, I read through the thread that was for this Twitter. Everybody was coming for her mama.
Oh
Everybody.
I'm seeing it now. Peppermint replied, okay, girl. Ha ha ha.
Yeah.
Wow.
So not only was Gia not out as a trans woman when her season premiered, it wasn't until after the season was actually over that Gia said something. But like, she wasn't even the first one. I mean, if you go back, season 2 with Sonique, when Sonique
what
was
about Miss
on,
Kylie Sonique Love?
Yes. So back in season 2, it was Sonique. That was the drag name. It was not Kylie Sonique Love yet. But throughout the whole season, nothing was said until the reunion. When the reunion came back, it was a big moment in the reunion because she got up out of her chair and walked off set. And I believe it was Morgan or Rue that went to get her and bring her back because she was having such an emotional breakdown of coming out as a trans woman during the reunion. And then, I mean, there have just been a number of queens before Gia that have, you know, not that they came out during their season or were out before their season aired, but I mean, just people that were on there and then eventually came out.
Yeah. I mean, wow. I mean, I'm pulling up the tweet. She got ratioed, which is a term I just learned because I'm a millennial and I'm not Gen Z.
Yeah, I don't know what that means. Can you educate me?
It is when it is when a reply to your tweet or your post or whatever has more likes than your actual original post.
Oh gosh.
So
Republicans know about that.
Probably. So she has 1,900 likes, but Got Mix, I Love My Fake Season, has 13,000.
Yeah, I mean, I'm looking at this screenshot that shows 1491 likes for Gia, and then right underneath it, which was 3 hours ago when this photo was taken.
I'm looking at it now, like live on Twitter. Kylie Sonique Love, 5.5 thousand.
Yeah, Peppermint responded, Got Mick responded, everybody's responded.
Oh, my favorite, though, is the one that replies with a picture of Sam Smith holding their Oscar up on stage and saying, "This tweet has very Sam Smith, I'm the first openly gay Oscar winner energy."
Oh my god.
Barf. Okay.
Please.
So after Miss Kerry Colby, then walks in Miss June Jambalaya.
Another hysterical queen.
Hysterical queen. But my first impression that I wrote down was cheap. I felt cheap,
That jumper was not everything.
lost for words. Not as well put together. Not as good of an eye on the details. A little unfinished.
a little rough. A
little rough.
Yes. I feel like she's going to be a little like, as much as Cornbread wants to throw around the term hood for herself with her attitude and where she's come from, I feel like her drag is more opulence, more refined, more polished, more dynasty-esque than what June Jambalaya is going to give. I feel like June is going to be closer to that hood feel, that ghetto feel, that original drag feel of drag on a dime look.
Yes.
Even though it may, I'm not
Drag on a dime.
trying to call her cheap, because I think she's funny as hell and I think that she has a lot of talent. But I think that that's going to be the difference between Miss Cornbread and Miss June at this moment, is that June is definitely going to show us like, I got here making this shit myself.
Yeah. She got to step her pussy up.
Gotta step her pussy up. And I mean, this was just the first entrance look, so
True. But still though, like to me, this is one of the most important looks. It is literally the first time we see you.
Yes. I would agree, but we also have to take into consideration the promo looks. So I think
I don't take the promo looks into consideration just because they're aided in that.
They are aided, but it shows what they can do, right? So
it shows what they can do when they're given, here's all the resources you could ever need. But I want to know, what can you do on your own? Because that's what you're doing on the show, really.
Well, I mean, that's true, but that's when the construction challenge comes up. So yeah. I don't use first look as what can you do on your own, because most of those looks are not what they've done on their own.
Yeah, no, not on your own. But I mean, even if you are able to have someone help you design something or have someone make you something, I think there's a difference between, I'm having to go out on my own and find these people, pay them myself, coordinate with them on what I want to look like. And then your promo look, which is, oh no, I'm given like all of these professionals at my disposal and I can do whatever I want with them.
So what we're hearing, listeners, is Michelle crawl up through Zach's throat and say, I don't want off the rack.
Yes. Hi, my name is Michelle. My titties are not quite big enough. But
well, I mean, this is post-surgery, so
true.
That's fine.
That's true. It's not as much of a goal to meet. And then finally, walking in is Miss Orion Story. My first impressions that I wrote down were campy and well-tailored.
What did Orion wear? What did Miss Story wear when she came in? I can't remember.
It was a like a one-piece bikini that was stoned, or sort of red and gold, if I'm not mistaken.
Like boudoir look. It was very like sateen from the neck down.
Oh.
And then very Amy Winehouse from the neck up.
Very Amy Winehouse from the neck up. I agree. Yes.
Which I think is just a confused aesthetic. I didn't enjoy it. I do remember that. I remember looking at this and just going, no.
Oof.
Just not on an entrance. It just felt very, the head was disjointed from the body.
Yeah. All right, so now these are our 7 queens for episode 1. Mm-hmm. And we then are coming to realize, and then Rue walks in to tell us for sure that we're going to do a split premiere, as they've done in the past.
We hear that, whoo, girl. She already had hers. And all of us are like, this again? It's no longer a surprise, mama.
It's not. But you know what? I do like it, though. I like being able to focus on fewer queens at once, because then I can get to really know them a little bit better. Because when there's 14 all at once, the first queen that's eliminated, I'm like, I don't even know who you were. I barely remember you.
Oh, pork chop.
Well, except for Pork Chop, and there weren't as many queens back then as well.
There were not. I mean, there were still more. What were there? 11.
Not as many as there are now, but
Definitely not 14. I mean, because the initial casting has grown
yes,
throughout the years. But yeah, I guess. I just wish that they would release them kind of like back to back.
Back to back. Yeah,
Like,
that would be good.
You know, do 2 episodes that first week. You know, maybe not release them back to back so that I'm sitting there watching RuPaul's Drag Race for 4 hours.
Right.
Because then you're going to fall into that same thing of, I don't get to know you. I don't know who you are because I'm watching 4 hours of Drag Race and all I'm seeing is sequence go before my eyes at the end of hour 3. But if we could do like a Thursday release and then a Friday release,
That'd be cool.
I think that would be okay. Instead of making me wait a whole...
That's our wish.
Yes, VH1 just for the first 2 episodes, please.
So after that, we get a mini challenge of a photo shoot, which I thought was sort of strange. And how is it that you can be expected to do a photo shoot on a spinning wheel when you? I don't like when they do that first photo shoot and you don't know what's coming because you're not sure how to dress appropriately for it. So when you look at like Kerry Colby, for example, who, again, I'm just going to call her Kerry Colby, who's like
Colby.
wearing something that's very free flowing, and so when she's upside down, it then goes over her head. Well, had she known, oh, by the way, you're going to be spinning upside down on this board, okay, well, I can just wear something else. So I'm not wild on that whole, we're going to surprise you with the photo shoot where you're going to be in fucking water like they were in season 4 or 5.
Yeah, I think it was a little bit later than that. But yeah, we've had the Shangela episode where they're on the cannon straddling for season 3, I think
so.
Where they're straddling the cannon and just being blown in the face by like gale force winds. Eyelashes are flying off, wigs are flying off. We have the infamous water tank episode that you're talking about where, bitch, I would have like waterproofed my face if you would have told me.
Exactly. So I'm not big on the surprise photo shoots for those first episode, but whatever.
I don't think that Kerry should have won. Maybe an unpopular opinion. I don't think that her photo, out of the ones that they showed us as like the final photo from each girl as they're going through it, I don't think that her photo was the best.
I agree. But then that's over. She wins. And then we get ready for the main challenge where all the queens must perform in a talent show in front of the judges.
Now, this I really like. And this was done for the first time, the talent show, I believe, in one of the All-Star seasons. I think it was All-Stars 2?
3?
3? 2 or 3, where they brought in the talent show. And oh my gosh, Miss Tatiana's spoken word piece. We just have to mention that. But I like that they bring in the talent because it gives the queens creative liberty with how to present themselves to us and what they should most be known for. For instance, Miss June Jambalaya with her African dance.
Well, let's get to it. Let's get into the performances. So
let's do it.
Miss June Jambalaya is first, and she does an African dance, which, let me tell you what I wrote down. Unpolished, headband, and pantyhose. Those are the words that I wrote down.
Thank you, Michelle.
And I felt so validated when Michelle then pointed out the same thing about her pantyhose. I was like, oh my god, I could be the next Ross Matthews. I have Ross's old body.
Look out, Ross. She is coming for your seat. She's coming for your job.
Loved the idea. Loved that she was bringing in part of her culture. I actually thought that she was doing a really decent job with the dancing. It was just unpolished. Her headband's falling down. I can see your fucking pantyhose.
So yeah, there were several issues for me with this. Okay, so not only was it the pantyhose issue, which, look, and as we talk about Drag Race, you'll hear time and time again about what I did when I was performing, right? And I was not a polished queen. I can't paint my face worth a damn. Basically, Alaska stole my life when she wrote "Your makeup is terrible." That entire song is just about me.
I hope you're getting royalties.
God, I wish I would not be sitting here if I was. Maybe I would. Maybe this would be my full-time gig. But I get it. Like, control top panties are part of our process. Like, we have to put that in, especially when you're using pads. So if you're padding, you need to have that control top, because that brings in to smooth out your lines. Otherwise, you look chunky, you look blocky. So I get it, but she should have put over that a pair of opaque skin-colored tights. She has on sheer control top, and that's it.
Yeah, or even some sort of like a bloomer or something that would match the outfit, so that when she spins, that colorful thing, maybe there'd be something under there, but
the control tops go down too far. The control tops literally go down far enough. If you watch, go down half thigh.
Okay. Then
So,
you need to put it needs to be nude.
It needs to be opaque skin tone tights over it.
Yeah.
And then she should have brought dance shoes, because I have a feeling the reason why she didn't do this, because she should have known, she's intelligent enough, she's a talented queen, that those tights, those opaque tights, are slippery as hell, and she will have fallen on her face. No problem. But she should have brought in, if she knew that this was going to be her talent, she should have brought in dance shoes. And they can be nude, they can be flats. Like, I'm not asking her to put point shoes on and do Brooklyn Heights, right? She's doing African jazz. They just need to be flat.
Yeah. And I just have to say, basically, Miss June, this is 2 out of 2 looks that are unpolished.
2 out of 2 looks.
Not good.
That headband should have been pinned into your weave, girl.
It should have been super glued, not moving.
Yeah. You knew that you were going to be throwing your head around. And who knows, even though they didn't talk about it at all in Untucked, but who knows, there could have been a wardrobe malfunction. She could have pulled Janet Jackson. Like, we don't know. Something could have happened before she got on stage, and it wasn't secure for a reason. Sure. But all we get is what we get. So
this is what we get.
Girl, it should have been sewn in. It should have been clipped in. It should have been bobby pinned in. Like, come on. You're on RuPaul's Drag Race. Get it together.
Season 14, girl.
Season 14.
Next was Bosco. Bosco performing a burlesque number.
It grew on me.
You know, it's funny. The first thing I wrote down was, okay. But yeah, then it did grow on me, though.
Yeah, her taking her gloves off. No, you were not Dita Von Teese in that moment. You were like Willem trying to get out of bed in the morning. It was chunky. It was not smooth. It was god awful. But then once she went to those petals, that was grace. That was elegance. That was, I'm going to make you want it with every movement.
I fucking loved it. After that, we have Miss Alyssa Hunter. Miss Alyssa Hunter was giving us a lip sync number, very much in a different vein than what she was giving us in her entrance look.
Yes, very different look.
Very different. This metal, leather, and you know, I dig what she was doing. I dig that she was trying to show versatility. I don't think that it was as bad of a thing as the judges then later made it out to be.
Oh, I think it was. I agree with the judges. I was very harsh with this, but I think that Miss Alyssa Hunter's problem is going to be using a prop as a crutch. Her entrance look was very much the Huntress, right? Very, I would even say African themed.
Except she
but
didn't know how to work the bow.
you don't know how to place an arrow on a bow.
Yeah,
Girl,
that's a problem.
do a moment of research, and by a moment of research, I mean pull up any YouTube video
I was
ever in
thinking,
existence.
watch the Hunger Games.
The Hunger Games.
Yeah, and then she gets on stage and she's got a guitar. Who I immediately was like, she's not fingering that guitar.
And the other
and
queens
then one of
call
the other
it
girls,
too.
yeah, and the other girls like, it's not even plugged
Clock it.
in. That's right, it's not even plugged in. But even if I mean, perhaps you could say, oh well, there was a wireless like, but no, she wasn't even fingering the guitar. Her stroke pattern wasn't even matching what was happening in the music. What the fuck are you doing, girl? What the fuck is going on here on this day?
You don't need to be a master at it, right? But
Yeah.
if that's going to be part of your talent, and this is my thing, it was my thing with pageants. I've gone to plenty. I haven't performed in any because that shit takes money. But your talent should not be lip syncing as a drag queen unless you're putting on a production.
Yeah.
Alyssa Hunter's talent was not enough of a production, because a production for me needs to have backup dancers. You need to be the choreographer. Like, you need to have mixed the music yourself.
Yes.
But it should not just be you up there lip syncing to a song, because guess what? We're going to see that when you're in the bottom.
Indeed. Well, next was Miss Carrington Colby performing a lip sync and jump rope number.
See, added something else. Give me a skill.
Give me a skill. I love that when she told Rue this, Rue was like, oh, like double Dutch? And my husband was like, that's funny. And I was like, why? He was like, oh, isn't that like a... And I was like, no, that's like an actual jump roping thing. He was like, oh. He thought it was like a play on words or like a reference to something.
A double entendre.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I did love the jump rope number. I agree with Miss Ross Matthews about... I wish we would have gotten to that a touch sooner, because that's so dynamic.
Well, and I think that Michelle and Ross agreed on this point of you should have came out with the jump rope in hand. And I completely agree. I don't need you to walk down the runway and then take a pause, go off stage left, chill out there and show me in an outfit that I wasn't thrilled about. Like, to me, there was nothing special about the outfit. That was a functional outfit to make sure that you could do your jump rope, and I appreciate that.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that it should have been anything more, but that outfit didn't warrant you standing off and posing.
Yeah.
You should have came out and you should have been jumping rope from the moment you set yourself up in center stage.
Next, Miss Cornbread the Snack Jeté performing a lip sync to an original number.
And
I
again,
fucking loved this.
here we go. Just like what we were saying with Miss Alyssa Hunter, you're lip syncing, you need to give us a talent. Then comes Kerry Colby, lip syncing to a song that she didn't write with a talent included, another skill. And then here comes Miss Cornbread, lip syncing to her own fucking song.
Loved it.
Loved it.
the outfit. And let me tell you what I really like about Miss Cornbread Jeté. I love being a bigger girl myself. I love when I see big queens who know how to work their body the right way. And know this is how you make something fit appropriately. This is how you, even though you're big, how to give the appearance of a waist. And even when they do things by like showing a little skin and doing it in such a way that you're not like trying to look thin. Oh no, you're accentuating the roundness, the bodaciousness of it all. I love that. And I think that talent show look did that. I loved it.
I loved everything about it. And
So
I
great.
think she got the fire that she needed to do as well as she did from Lizzo coming into the workroom as they're
Yeah.
getting ready for the Maxi Challenge.
Oof.
Like, Lizzo is the epitome of I'm a big voluptuous woman. I got
She is
curves
that
and all.
bitch.
She is that bitch.
She's 100% that bitch.
She gonna flaunt it, right? And then out comes Miss Cornbread Jeté, and she was on point.
On point. On point. Then comes Miss Orion's story.
Oh, girl.
Let me, this is how you know how I felt about this. In my journal, I have Miss Cornbread Jeté, and then on the next line, I have Willow Pill. I didn't even write anything because I was so taken aback by it. I was like, what the hell am I watching? Out there trying to give us like Meryl Streep in some like hillbilly elegy attempt. I don't know what. It was a lot, girl. It was a lot.
If you're going to try and do a callback to another queen, you best do it right. And you did not do an appropriate callback to Miss Crystal Method. That's what this was.
As Sidney Prescott says in Scream 4, you forgot the first rule to remakes. Don't fuck with the original.
Boom. Mic drop.
So,
yeah. There was a lot wrong with Miss Story. As both Ross and Michelle said,
yeah,
you should have workshop this more.
Yeah, 100%. And then finally, Miss Willow Pill, who Willow was giving us
surrealism,
surrealism, cinema verite, something entitled Self-Care in Quarantine. It was pantomime meets I don't know what.
Performance art.
It was 90s beatnik suicide. It was 90s beatnik suicide. And I gotta tell you, when she first started, I was like, what the fuck is she doing? She's lost her damn mind. She's going home. Between that entrance look and this shit, what the fuck? What the fuck is going on here on this day? And I tell you what, by the end, I was in. I
wasn't in. I wasn't.
I loved it.
I didn't get it until it was over. I truly 100% was sitting there going, what the ever living fuck are you doing on the stage right now? Like, what just no. Now, when she came out, she came around that curtain, came center stage, and was doing her whole little like ballerina, attempting to float down the runway to Enya. I was like, okay, this is gonna be interesting. I saw, we saw the little setup. I was like, okay. And then it went so left field that it has me making sports references.
That's when you know.
That's when you know. But I had to have time to reflect on it, and sure, now I love it.
Good art sometimes takes reflection.
Yes, good art. So the difference between good art and great art is that great art makes you think. Yes. Great art challenges you, and that's what this did. I would consider this great performance art, and especially after hearing Rue's comment about it when she was up there, when she was doing the critiques, when all the queens are up there on stage, and she brings up Monty Python and the Flying Circus.
Rue knows her shit.
I mean, Rue's fucking intelligent. I mean, mind-blowing how smart Rue really is.
Yeah.
But brought up Monty Python's Flying Circus, and I went, it was hand, face palm, the whole thing. I don't think that she went far enough with Flying Circus, though. I really think that a better reference, especially for Monty Python, to compare this to would have been Life of Brian. And I don't know how much you know or how much our listeners know about Monty Python material, but truly took the most mundane thing and turned it into obscurity and just ridiculousness. And it didn't hit me until Rue said flying circus.
Yeah. I loved it. I loved it. So, now we get to the main stage where we get the runway looks. So, we'll start with Miss June Jambalaya.
Miss June Jambalaya. Girl, no.
Girl, no. Once again, issues like unfinished, just lack of detail being paid attention to.
Yes, it looked cheap.
Yes, it looks cheap.
That's so number one, I personally, so this is like my personal thing. I don't like those shoulder capes. Those shoulder trains that happen. I like to have one cohesive train. Now, if you want to come from the shoulders, you can have a wraparound. Like, you can have it come from the front or the side of your shoulder and go all the way around the back. Like, yes. Yeah. So I already had an issue with it from the get-go of just the silhouette that you're painting.
Yeah.
I don't like shoulder trains. But then when you're walking down and you're doing a bodysuit and you're saying that you love bodysuits and you love jumpers, girl, you need to make sure that shit fits your body like a goddamn glove. And I should not be able to see wrinkles when you're walking.
Yeah.
And it's not wrinkles of like she's walking and her body is creasing also because she has curves and she's not a twig.
Yeah.
It's wrinkles because it's not fitted to your body. That thing should be skin tight, and it wasn't. It fit like jeans.
Oof. Well, after Miss June Jambalaya was Miss Bosco in this maleficent
horns.
Horn something.
Horns. That's all we've seen from Miss Bosco at this point is horns.
It's definitely her shtick.
Again, I'm waiting for Michelle to say, and we want to see something else.
Yeah, I think it's well constructed. I think it looks great, but it's just like, okay, that's cool. And what? Next?
Yes. So I'm surprised that she didn't get red because Michelle doesn't like the whole bodysuit. Well, not just the costumey thing, but the bodysuit with a legging. And that's pretty much what Bosco gave us.
Yeah.
Now, well constructed, yes. Gorgeous silhouette, yes. Padded correctly for her proportions.
Yes.
I think so. Was the heel high enough for me? No. I like 6-inch stilettos when I'm in.
Ever since Alaska, you can just do a little kitten heel, apparently.
Well, wasn't just Alaska.
Sure, there's others.
But if you're going to give me drama on the top, I need to have drama on the bottom.
True.
When you know that you're not going to be dancing.
Yes.
You're walking down the runway. Now, you don't know that you're safe yet, right? But you can change out your shoe.
Yeah.
Between runway and lip syncing for your life because you go back to the workroom to untuck for a second while the judges deliberate. So I need to have high drama shoe, especially if you're doing a theme of horns. You're bringing everything elevated.
Yeah.
You should have carried that through with your shoe.
Work my pussy out. Then we have Miss Alyssa Hunter. Oh. This My Fair Lady
Mae West come up and fuck me in the ass sometimes.
Yes. Drama.
She walked out and my jaw hit the floor. My knees hit the floor too. And
oof.
It was so good. Give me a good tassel dress. Like,
give me a tassel in any form. Love a tassel.
Mm-hmm. Yes, but it was so good. It was
So
and had
good.
the parasol to go with it.
Yes, the
Love a
hat.
parasol. Loved the hat. It was
So great.
drooped in just the right way. Like the weight
Perfectly
of it
drooped.
was just
Yes.
framed the face. Wonderful. Now I will say, she painted a little too white for me.
It is a little Roxy Andrews, trying to give you Morticia Adams.
Very much so.
Yeah.
It just, she needs to put something over the clown white that she used underneath the eyes.
Yeah.
Because it gave me like baboon mask.
It's petit, oui.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it really is just a highlight. Like she just needs to dampen that highlight underneath the eyes.
Yeah.
Just a pinch.
Just a pinch. Well, let's then move on to someone whose face is stunningly gorgeous, Miss Carrington Colby.
I got it. I get it. Again, a little
Simple. Pedestrian.
simple pedestrian. I mean, I'm thinking of Star Booty when I see it. Like,
Yeah.
honestly, like I'm seeing a throwback to that rough drag that Rue really promoted in the 90s. So I get that aesthetic, but I feel like the coat didn't. I feel like the coat was an afterthought.
Yeah, you know what I wish she would have done with the coat? I wish she would have walked out with the coat off of her shoulders, and she sort of it's hanging off of her back. I
It
wish she
very
would
much
have done
may
that,
have been
and,
her presentation.
and then at some point, then removed it completely. Just let it fall off your shoulders and down your arms, and then walk. So like the coat's just sort of like the starting point, and then we then get to see the full drama of what's underneath when you drop it.
And I think that's what we were all waiting for, is because she did that peekaboo moment where
Yes.
like if you're walking down and you're holding a coat, you're holding a dress, you're holding something closed, we're waiting for the reveal.
Yeah.
She didn't give us a full reveal. She
just
opened it
opened
in
the
the
coat.
front, and
Yeah.
that was it. And it was like,
that was it.
okay, we're not getting the full effect of all those K's all down your body.
Yeah.
You're branding yourself. If you're going to brand yourself, I need to see the whole fucking fantasy.
Well, speaking of branding yourself, I wanted to take a hot brand and put it to my eyeballs with the next queen, Orion's story.
Really? I enjoyed this runway.
I did not enjoy this runway. I
It
don't.
reminded me of the lining of my small intestine.
Yeah. Exactly. Very much so.
Actually, what it reminded me of was the pox.
Yeah.
To be honest.
A plague on both her houses.
A plague on both our houses. A plague on all three of her tits, apparently.
Yes. Not a
But-
fan.
I got it. I got the Barbarella meets camp, which, I mean, Barbarella is already camp, but Barbarella meets Austin Powers meets just the 1950s campy, very much like ski chalet look. Got it. I enjoyed it for that reason. I think she should have picked a larger polka dot pattern. I
That
think
would've been better.
that may have been one of the things that hurt her, is that she went for such a condensed,
Too small.
too busy of a
Yeah.
pattern, too small of a
It
pattern.
needed to be more Bette Midler, big business sort of polka dot.
Somewhere in the middle, I think, would have been okay. I don't think it needs to go full, like, one polka dot covers my entire tit, right? Although that would have been funny. That would have been hilarious if the
She had these three
tits
polka dots.
fit in the polka dots, right?
That would have been good.
Would have been great. A missed opportunity. But I loved the kookiness of it. I enjoyed it. It was a lot to look at, though, coming down the runway.
Yeah.
Was not the right medium for it.
Next thing coming down the runway is Miss Cornbread the Snack Jeté. I love Cornbread. Again, she knows her body. I love that she basically came out as Lizzo.
came out as Lizzo. However, what I will say is I think that this was a little too simple.
I will say the headpiece did need a little something. I will agree with Michelle. I wish there was a little something more with the headpiece. Maybe literally a crown or something to
Something
give that
to add height. Yeah.
to add some height. But
It was very princess. It was very much the princess coming down the
princess,
runway.
yes.
The princess coming down and lip syncing for her life
yeah,
and losing because how are you going to dance against Dita Ritz
yeah,
in front of Natalie Cole? Anyway, it was very much a throwback to that episode with Dita Ritz. It was very much a reference to Lizzo, I feel, because she idolizes Lizzo.
yes.
And I had no problem with the Ball Queen whatsoever. But I think that the look was too simple. Just
I can see that.
I think that this is one of those great idea, great concept. The execution was lacking.
Needs to be executed better. I can see that. And finally, it's a Will Pill in this lime green blue. I don't get it. Yeah, I don't get it. I mean, I think like Michelle, I am gonna be haunted by this image for a while. The green is bad, and I'm not like Michelle, who hates green on at all in all terms. I like green; it used to be my favorite color of all time. This though did not work.
So I think the reason why this didn't work is two parts of the outfit do not match. So the hair is a different shade of green.
It's different green, yeah.
And you can't do that. And her makeup. So the face that she painted was not the right shade. And that's because that face is very much competing with the two greens. It doesn't know which green it needs to be with. Yeah. And the actual outfit, if you were to take those clothes off and put it on a blank mannequin, those colors, that blue and that green, do go together very well. And I was getting the aesthetic that she was trying to put forth for the clothes, but when you put in a green that is not from the same palette on your head, it throws everything off. When you paint yourself so morbidly gray tone as a base, and then try to fill in with color against green when you are a light skinned individual, and I mean like borderline like
Nicole Kidman white,
right, like see through like I am. You wash out, you look gray, you look sickly, and I mean maybe there's some of that. Maybe this is where the illness comes in as well, because kidney dialysis, it does a lot to your body, it does a lot to the color of your skin, and so she might be combating that stuff as well, but it
shouldn't be affecting your taste level. Your taste level should still be there.
I really think that if the hair would have been a different color or it would have been a matching shade of green, then I think it would have come across completely different.
I think I still would have hated it, but maybe it would have changed things.
I knew Michelle was going to hate it. As soon as she walked out, I went, "Oh, you're going to get red."
She's going to get red. And then finally, they announced the bottom two, which is Miss June Jambalaya and Miss Orion Story. Mason, do you agree with this bottom two?
Yes, I do.
I do too. I think these were definitely the bottom two. And they then lip synced to Water Me by Lizzo. And ultimately, Miss Orion Story sashayed away. Mason, is that the right decision?
I was sad to see Orion go, but I think that was the right decision.
Same. I definitely was happy with either one of them going, because I really was not impressed with either of them. But Yeah, I think Orion sashaying away was probably the best call.
I don't think. Well, I was expecting after we saw the lip sync performance, because I thought that they were both actually pretty even keel when it came to the energy level and what they did with the lip sync. Two different attacks. But I was waiting for Rue to do the whole Shantae, both of you stay. I was waiting for that heel to drop. But it didn't. I'm kind of happy it didn't, to be honest. The only way that I would have been happy is if they would have done a double elimination next week.
Oof.
Which would be rough right out the gate.
Savagery.
Savage. But yeah.
Well, we can look forward to next week's being the second half of the premiere where we'll see the other 7 girls.
I'm excited.
Yeah, I am too. I mean, I think I think it was a good first episode. I like that we got a good amount of time with the queens and we got to know them a bit. And we're going to do it all over again next week. Mm-hmm. And then we're going to smash them together, presumably. So we shall see what happens.
Just wait and see.
Well, that does it for us here at the podcast this week. Thank you so much for listening to this sort of special bonus episode. Make sure to give us a follow on social media. You can find me at ZacharyPenn48 on Twitter.
And you can find me at Real Mason Dixon on Twitter and on Instagram.
And Instagram. You can also just find the show on Twitter at With a Gay Twist. You can also email us at withagaytwist@gmail.com. Make sure to give us a rating on your favorite podcast app so that other fabulous queens such as yourself can find us. And remember, being queer is political. Bye, girl.
Later.